Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Northern Spotlights, the talk show here at the Vancouver Aquarium that takes us north with staff here at the aquarium who've traveled to the high Arctic. And joining me today is Takuji Oyama. He is a senior biologist and diver here at the Vancouver Aquarium. And he's actually been up to the Arctic a couple of times, isn't that right? And Tak, you've had a rather varied history. I've heard you've traveled down to 130 feet while diving. You've been in a submersible. You've been here at the Vancouver Aquarium since 1996.
Yes.
So you've had a chance to do some pretty exciting things. And as I hear from your coworkers, you remind them very often that you are a grandfather as well.
Yes, I am.
So not just a diver, but also a grandfather. It's true. So Tak, you've had a chance to do quite a bit of diving. In fact, how many lifetime dives have you done?
Well, I don't remember exact number because it's a bunch of different dive log we had, but I'm diving since 1982. So it's a little bit over 2,000 dives.
Over 2,000 dives. He's been diving since before I've been alive. So he's got a fair amount of dives. And how many of those dives have been in the Arctic?
It's only like 15-ish. Yeah.
That's still more than most people here. So that's certainly pretty impressive.
Yep.
So you have been diving for a long time, again,
Yep.
since 82. And approximately when did you start diving in the first place?
Well, 82, I was in university, so I'm studying marine biology, so diving is one of the sort of requirement for research. But, well, probably I was like 5 or 6 years old. I really wanted to go diving because it was ocean and fish really fascinate me. And also, well, at that age, I'm just hopping in the ocean and holding my breath. But I thought really good idea to having a scuba tank on the back, and I can keep breathing, and so I can stay in the water longer time. So that was my kind of dream. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad you were able to fulfill that dream,
Yeah.
that you were able to have those scuba tanks so you could stay underwater even longer. Was it always marine biology that you were interested in, or did you have other interests when you were around 5 or 6, you said as well?
Yeah, well, marine biology is one thing that really fascinated, but also, just like any other boys, I just going out field or forest and just collecting little insects.
Yeah.
That was my other things that really.
All right. So you were a big fan of bugs. Do you have any favorite insects or bugs, Tak?
Like big beetles, Linus beetle or mantis. Praying mantis is really cool. Yeah.
And what is so cool about praying mantises?
Well, they look really sharp and cool. Also, I had good access to fields that I can find praying mantis.
Yeah.
And I usually just put in a pocket as I collect it. Then go home and I just forget. So my mom checking my pocket for the laundry, then screaming over there. And what's happened? And she has like a handful of mantis everywhere. Then
all right.
yeah, it was fun.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's good. And just in your pocket, or did you?
Oh, and also by the end of summer, praying mantis making kind of like an egg case that usually contains hundreds of eggs. Then it's usually over the winter, they stay like that way. Then the spring it hatches. Then while it's probably end of summer to autumn, I collected whole bunch of those egg cases and left in my desk drawer. And completely forgot. And one spring evening, my mom screaming from my room, like as usual. And,
As usual? Okay.
Yeah. Then I went there, then see what she found. Probably tens of thousands of this size praying mantis crawling everywhere in my room. And that was a most beautiful spring evening I ever remember.
Well, I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
I don't think, I get the impression your mother was not as thrilled.
Well, she gets used to it, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But despite all of this, you eventually chose marine biology over top of all of these bugs. And I got to say, that's a pretty intense love of bugs. Does anyone here love bugs as much as Tak?
I don't know. He might.
A couple. All right. There
My
we
friend,
go.
John.
All right. But eventually you chose the marine biology over
Yes.
the bugs. You began your career in Japan at a public aquarium that was part of a research institute.
Yeah.
So what sort of things did you do while you were in Japan?
Well, that public aquarium, but it's funded by private university where I learned marine biology. And I graduated marine biology, then I got position for the university aquarium. So my job was like now looking after displays and animals, but also I had to help the university student to set up their research project, some undergrad or graduate student. Because most of the case, research people doesn't know how to deal with animals, and they cannot really set up proper condition to actually get research done. So that was part of the job to help them out.
All right, so this sounds like it gives you a very strong background for a lot of the things that we do here at the Vancouver Aquarium. And so eventually you came here, I think it was in 1996?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you came here to the aquarium. And you worked with a team members such as Danny Kent, traveling. We've got a picture of the two of you there in the
Yeah.
Arctic. And it looks like the opportunity of traveling up and being in the Arctic is a little bit chilly, rather cold. Had you done any kind of cold water diving before?
Well, I only have when I'm working in Japan, we had deep sea displays, which is about 1 degree water. And for just testing myself, we only had we didn't have dry suits, just wetsuits. But anyway, to clean the tank, I hopped in with wetsuits in 1 degree water, which was pretty cold.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. Wetsuits, that sounds like it would be rather tough diving, but certainly some practice, some experience for the
Yeah.
Arctic. But luckily in the Arctic, you got to wear dry suits,
Yes.
as we see
Oh,
photos.
that's very nice.
As we see the photos of here. And how was your first dive? Was it like those deep sea exhibit dives you had done before?
No, actually, the real world low temperature is really different, and it wasn't really cold, of course, because I was wearing dry suits, but it was painful. Right?
Painful.
My face was like so painful.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't even feel cold because it's pain.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But did that eventually pass?
Yeah.
It was exciting to see.
Actually, yeah. As soon as get over the first shock, then it's just underwater, like an Arctic Ocean is fascinating. It's like so nice and blue and rich in life. So it's like totally different, like, from my mind.
All right, so there was a lot of things that I imagine your team was looking for. I believe that first dive, you were looking for some Arctic cod. It was also a very long dive, 75 minutes. That's quite a long time to be in cold water. But what were some of the first animals that stuck out to you when you went on that dive?
Also, fish is one thing, but also there's few species of invertebrate look like kind of like a praying mantis or some buggy-looking animals there. Then it was very fascinating. Yeah.
Well, for you, praying mantis bug guy. So one of the animals that...
Like Arcturus and hedgehog pot. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we actually have a photo of the Arcturus here.
Arcturus.
So this is a female, and she's actually got a bunch of babies on her antenna. So we have a close-up of the babies as well, and it's rather interesting that they're carried on the antenna of this animal, but I certainly see why bug guy Tak
It's a beautiful animal.
really likes the Arcturus. I'm not sure how many choose that, but you
Really?
also mentioned, I think, the hedgehog amphipod,
it's very...
which is a rather interesting looking animal as well.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
only like this size, but imagine if it's like this size. That would be so cool.
Okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. But I like that you picked out the marine bugs. It brings you back to your 6-year-old self.
Yeah.
So you were able to collect these animals, and in fact, the photo that we have of the Arcturus and the Arcturus babies are animals that you brought back.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And we've been able to put them on display here at the Vancouver Aquarium, where they have had babies, and it's been very exciting to share. Has it been rather exciting for you to share these animals with visitors who wouldn't have a chance to see them otherwise?
Out here?
Yeah, being able to show them off here at the aquarium
Oh.
where visitors can check them out.
Yeah, well, every time it's kind of on the picture, it's easy to see it's right there, but in the tank display, it's really mixed in, so really hard to see sometimes, so have to point it out.
But still, you found them. Good job.
Yeah.
Because they probably would have been very tough to come across when you were diving as well.
That's
so it's
right,
very
yeah.
exciting. We can share those with people. So your first trip was into the Arctic. Was what year did you first head up?
That was 2009. Yeah.
Yeah. And where did you go? What sort of things did you and
That
your
was Resolute
team?
Bay.
Resolute Bay.
Yeah.
And what sort of things were your team doing and looking for?
I think the primary was looking for Arctic cod, but also we were going to rebuild new Arctic display, so we basically collecting anything we see interesting. So of course selectively, but yeah.
All right. So, and you also went up to the Arctic again in, I believe, 2014, last summer. Did you go to the same area?
No, that was different area. That will be our new place to keep continuing going there to doing more research. But it's
So that
Cambridge
was
Bay.
Cambridge Bay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what sort of things did you do in Cambridge Bay in 2014?
Well, Cambridge Bay, we had no actual record of data about where to dive, what to do, what to expect. So basically, we picked area from chart, then just hop in and see what's happened, what we see. Yeah.
So did you see any of the same kinds of things as you had seen in Resolute Bay?
It was actually slightly different. So that's it's like I don't know how far it's from there, but
They're fairly far from one
fairly far
another.
apart from the Resolute Bay to Cambridge Bay. So we see few species that we never seen at Resolute Bay, and we didn't see few species we saw regularly at Resolute Bay.
Okay. And did you ever have a chance to share any of these animals with the local communities at all?
Well, we didn't have official show and tell, but every time people swing by our holding area or when we are moving animals on the beach, then the kids come by, then we show tell everything. Then basically for the local people at Arctic, underwater is not very friendly for the people. It's so cold, and basically if you hop in water, you can die. So people doesn't even know what kind of stuff, sea star in there or anything. So any animals we're showing is really fascinating people.
And I heard you also got to show off some of the ways that you were able to dive. One of your coworkers was telling me that you inflated your dry suit for the little ones. What happened there?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if you guys know what dry suits is. Basically, kind of like a sealed suit, so no water coming in anywhere, and we can inflate air so we can keep our body warm. Then our suit was neoprene, so it's kind of expandable, right?
So you were the tack marshmallow
I was
man.
basically injecting air as much as I can do. It's making myself like a big balloon man. And I was rolling over the water and floating, then suddenly I realized I couldn't get up. Just like floating on the water like this. Then I was kind of almost drifting away. And nobody helped me.
Oh, he's gesturing to his team, which is also here. But luckily, we were able to get you in the end.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you were able to come back, Tack, and be able to spend some time here in the spend some time up in the Arctic and tell us a little bit more about it. So what's up next for you and your team in the Arctic?
Hopefully, you can get back to Cambridge Bay and continuing researching, because any area we hop in diving could be the nobody ever dove in there, nobody ever seen underwater view. So we still keep finding something.
All right. Well, that sounds like fun. Good luck and best of luck to you and your team. Thanks again so much. This is Takuji Oyama, senior biologist and diver here at the Vancouver Aquarium. And I'm Keely again. I'm here for Northern Spotlights, the talk show that takes us north with the Vancouver Aquarium. Now, TAC is just one of several team members who've been up to the Arctic. If you'd like to hear more from some of our other team, you can feel free to check out the Vancouver Aquarium YouTube channel for a number of the other people who've been on board as well. And if you'd like to learn more about what the Vancouver Aquarium is doing up north, you can also check out our website, vanaqua.org/OurNorth. But thanks very much, everyone, for joining us, and have a fantastic rest of your day.